안녕하세요. 림페이시 싱가포르 남자입니다. 네, 안녕하세요 여러분들. 오늘 주제는요, 한국어 배우는데 한국 여자친구나 남자친구 사귀는 게 좋을까? 네, so today's topic is something a lot of people like tend to believe in, which is making a Korean girlfriend or a Korean boyfriend a good way to learn Korean language. Okay, now join me in this discussion as I come to this lovely cafe here. One thing I like about Korea is this, like there's a lot of such very beautiful and very lovely cafes everywhere. So just gonna order myself something to drink. 뭐 혹시 핸드랩이 있어요? So yep, lovely place. Love this. 네, 감사합니다. Okay, so whenever we talk about learning a foreign language, a lot of people will say, well, just get a local girlfriend or local boyfriend. So whenever we talk about learning Korean language, a lot of people will say, like, well, just get a Korean girlfriend or just get a Korean boyfriend. Or like Singaporeans will say, get a Korean girlfriend lah. Ayya, go and get a Korean oppa boyfriend lah. Why you so make it so difficult? Simple a bit lah. Okay, so, but really, is having a local girlfriend or boyfriend really the answer to quickly mastering Korean language? Now, a little bit background myself, right? For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm from Singapore, and I've been here in Korea for 3 years, here in Seoul, and I officially learned the language over a period of 2 years in Hanyang University. And so I have a girlfriend. My girlfriend is Korean. So I guess I'm in a very good position to share with you guys just how correct, or like, you know, is making a local girlfriend or boyfriend the be all and end all of you know, learning languages, right? Obviously, like most of you should suspect by now that my answer should be something more towards the negative, okay? Which is true. Why? Because now, to me, having a local girlfriend or boyfriend is effective at helping you learn the language only if you're one kind of person that you lack true motivation or self-discipline in having a very rigid and very disciplined routine in your language learning. Then having a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend will help a lot. But if you're a person with a lot of self-discipline, a lot of self-motivation, you have a very strong program that you design for yourself going on and it's working for you, you don't need a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend to learn the language. And in fact, it might be bad. It might be bad for you. It might actually work against you to have a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend. And so why do I say that? Okay, now there's a few reasons why I don't think having a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend is a good way to learn Korean language. So, number one is this. Both of you eventually will end up speaking the language that you guys are both most comfortable with. So, if you meet your Korean girlfriend or boyfriend in an English speaking setting and he or she is very comfortable speaking English, I'm telling you, you're not going to improve your Korean one bit, because all you guys will be speaking will be English. Because it's comfortable for both of you, okay? You will not deliberately speak a language which is very hard for both of you or for one of you. You will gradually and very naturally default to the language which is most comfortable for both of you, and that may not be Korean language, okay? For me, between my girlfriend and myself, our most comfortable language is Korean language, so I speak a lot of Korean with her, right? So at least that much is working for me. But let's say if you and your boyfriend or your girlfriend happens to speak English better between yourself, you're not gonna improve your Korean language one bit, okay? My coffee is here, so let's take a look. Ooh, it's very nice. This is a single origin brew, Aricha. Cost 6,000 won, which is about $5 US. In Korea, I love to drink at such this kind of very lovely non-chain coffee cafes, because they make really good coffees, and you know, like the owner and the people who work here are, I think, more dedicated to this thing. Whereas if you go to the big brands like Coffee Bean, Starbucks and all that stuff, you're getting a very generic experience. Like here you see, I really like the mug. It's a beautiful mug with a very unique single origin Aricha, which you typically won't find elsewhere. Typically elsewhere you'll find like Kenya, Colombia, stuff like that. Guatemala, stuff like that. Okay, so now let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is this. Even if you meet your Korean boyfriend or girlfriend as a couple like interested in learning Korean language, eventually Korean language learning will not be the theme of your love life. It cannot be. The theme of your love life will be exactly the same as any other couple in the world, where you want to share your heart, you want to share your feelings, you want to communicate. And that's when, like, initially being slightly unable to communicate each other and having to learn each other's language feels really sexy and it's fun early in a relationship. But as the relationship matures, like 6 months, 1 year down the road, that becomes the biggest hurdle, and that becomes the biggest source of frustration, where you want to share your idea and your heart, things that you say and share really well in your native language, you can't do it in Korean language. And that's assuming I'm talking about Korean boyfriend or girlfriend who actually speaks Korean with you. Okay, if they fall into category 1, then forget the rest of this video. If your Korean boyfriend or girlfriend is category 1, which means that all they speak with you is English, then you can forget the rest of the video. Okay, that girlfriend or boyfriend will 100% not help you learn any Korean language. Okay, that's 100%. So you can just click off already. You don't need to watch the rest of the video. Now, from point 2 onwards, we're assuming that your Korean girlfriend or boyfriend actually speaks Korean with you, and that between the both of you, the best language is Korean language, which means that you're in at least an intermediate level Korean speaker. Now, that becomes a hurdle, because every time you want to really share your heart, every time you want to open up and really chit chat about your struggles, very intimate things that are way beyond your language capability, you struggle. Every time that happens, you just feel like the frustration of not being able to share what you want to, and that becomes a hurdle in your relationship. Rather than help you in mastering the language, it actually discourages you from the language altogether eventually. When you every single day you just keep failing to speak what you want, and every single day it's a struggle, because in order to say what you want, you have to keep learning. At a certain point of time, that kind of learning becomes very tiring. Okay, that's why I say, if you are the kind of person who lacks self-discipline and you really need something this regimental to force you along in your learning, then this will work for you. But for most other people, it's actually too much, especially if you live with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Wow. Yeah, like I'm telling you, you face that every single moment of your life, man. Like, you just sometimes just feel like you're beaten down by that language. That discourages you. And when when you're discouraged, you don't feel more motivated to learn it. You just feel like giving up altogether, including the relationship. So that can be very dangerous, right? So you need to understand that a lot of people fall into this category. This is point number 2. Okay, a lot of people eventually fall into point number 2. And point number 3 is this. See, communication is a problem between couples anywhere in the world. Okay, or I would say the lack of communication. Eventually, couples stop talking to each other as much as they first started off, and it becomes a problem. All couples of any creed, race, nationality have to work between themselves, and it's no different when you have a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend. Eventually, see, you guys are not going to be chit-chatting that much anymore. And so when you stop really, like, you stop talking to each other much, or that all you talk about every day is pretty much the same thing, sugashamnida, how's work, welcome back home, are you hungry, stuff like that. It falls into a routine, and you really don't learn anything new. And so that relationship, I would say, at that point of time, at that stage, really doesn't quite help you master the language at all. And a lot of my friends with Korean girlfriends or boyfriends, when they reach that stage, which they eventually, all of them will, and they and that they are actually more interested in furthering their Korean language skill than the relationship itself, they do one or two things. One, they either break up and find someone new, or two, they actually start taking up classes, Korean classes outside of the relationship again, just like when they first met. And of course, you're more very likely to meet someone new in those places again. Okay, so basically, it's the same problem but expressed in a different way in the context of learning Korean language. Okay, so which means that at point 3, what I'm trying to say is that not only that in some cases, or that in a lot of these cases, having a Korean boyfriend or girlfriend who actually speaks Korean with you, not only does it not help you in furthering your Korean language ability, but sometimes it can be the very thing that ends the relationship as well. Okay, so that's why I keep saying, don't get into a relationship because you want to learn a language, because relationship is about love. Language is not learning, the interest in learning the language is not a strong enough reason to survive the many difficulties and hurdles you are going to face as a couple. You need love. And when it comes to love, like I always say, it doesn't matter where the person comes from. Seriously, to me, I never wanted so-called a Korean girlfriend. To me, everybody is the same. Everybody's equal, and I love who I love, and I love who loves me as well. See, so it's about the person, not the nationality, not what she speaks and stuff like that. And I'm going to tell you the truth, I struggle a lot with my Korean language with her. That's why I know that sometimes I feel very discouraged when it comes, because both of us, our best language is Korean language. I'm kind of like higher intermediate kind of level, and so she speaks English as well, but her English is not as good as my Korean, so we end up speaking Korean as our default language. And I'm a very expressive person, so a lot of times I feel discouraged and frustrated in ways because I could not express myself fully 100%, the way that I wanted to. So that, I'm going to be honest with you guys, have resulted quite a few squabbles between us. So, but I treasure the relationship more than the language, or more than what nationality she is. And so, despite all that, I want to work through it, you see. But that's why I keep saying, you need to be, when it comes to a relationship, you need something stronger than just your interest in learning their language. Otherwise, seriously, I have plenty of friends who reach a high intermediate and even a very advanced native level of Korean speaking without ever having a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend. So, Majumaguro, finally, in the end, in conclusion, I would say that having a Korean girlfriend or boyfriend might help you in improving your Korean language, but not always. Based on the terms that I have, based on the reasons that I have quoted so far, it may even discourage you from the language at times. Okay, so it's not the be all end all, and I want to encourage everybody to enter into a relationship responsibly. Just being interested in learning their language is not, to me, a good enough reason to be in a relationship. Maintaining a relationship or being in a relationship takes a lot more than just having a common hobby, right? So yep, that's Limpei's advice when it comes to language learning. There's so many ways to learn and master Korean language. Please, here, check out this video here. To show you all my ways, in so many ways to learn Korean language. You don't need to be in a relationship to do so, right? So yep, see you guys next time. 안녕.